Let's get into some tips for planting roses. If you're new here, my name is Natalie. I grow in Utah, Zone 7A, and it is perfect for growing roses. I really love them. I have some in the back that I'm actually gonna put in this earth planter, self-watering planter that I love. It's been amazing. I have a video unboxing that, and then I used it all summer. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. It's a commercial grade planter. Right here, this is my favorite rose. This is Sweet Mademoiselle. I don't normally let her get this big. Now this is 2 shrubs, 2 roses. The roses are going crazy. They're 2 roses. They are planted side by side. Sorry, that's a stake for another rose. Side by side. And I didn't get around to pruning them. And so they are majestic in this moment. I don't think I've ever seen them look prettier. But I want to show you how I get my roses off to a really good start, even if they are not coming to you looking perfect. Mine actually came perfect. I'm going to plant up a Bloomables rose. This is a Bloomables rose. I actually have another Bloomables rose that they sent me. This is not sponsored, but they sent me that as part of an Instagram sponsored post. But since I'm going to pot it up anyway, I might as well show you what I'm doing. And it has been outside and it's got some aphids. It's gotten hot. It's gotten cold. It's had a little wind damage. So let's get to it. But first, I mean, come on, look at this. This thing is like 9 feet tall. I think this one is about 6 years old. Their roses are huge. They smell so good. And I love this variety because it has a really long straight stem. So it is a perfect indoor cut rose. It's my favorite rose of all time. I mean, come on. It's so happy. Here in the backyard, we are doing, it's the first time ever, brand new for me. I always do red and yellow at my mom's house. You may have seen some of the videos I've made there, and I do white, pink, purple, some blues in my own space. But here's the thing, our backyard is landscaped as a moonlight garden, and so the perennials are white, which in theory gives me the power and ability to change it up and do whatever I want with my annuals, which do I ever do that? No, I never do. I don't. But this year we are. So this is the rose that I received from Bloomables. Let me cut the tag off so I can show you. This is called Sunset Horizon. And it's a really pretty yellow, red, and pink rose. Can you see on there? It changes and it has excellent disease resistance, large flower size. They had me at large flower size. I love a large flower size. And it looks like it has a really great long stem length for cut flowers too. So this will probably end up in my mom's landscaping eventually. She just gets fun random things, holes dug and put in her yard. She loves a good cherry red. And so this one says it starts off bright yellow, fades to a deep pink, and then ends up a cherry red, which I'm really excited about that. Now, if you're new here, I also am an ambassador for Olson's Greenhouse, and they grow the plants in my area for Home Depot and Walmart stores. You can find me on their Instagram as well as my own Instagram. I actually have a job working for them now. And I'm going to put a bunch of their cool annuals in there. And you might have seen this one, but I didn't have the red version for my Home Depot exclusives video. I had it over at my mom's house. This is a Fireburst Dahlia, and it's exclusive to Home Depot this year. I got some from my mom's yard, and then I found some more. They've kind of been sold out in my area. I don't know if they're refreshing them, but it's in the Vigoro brand pot. And if you've never grown Vigoro plants, I don't know how to describe it. I had a hard time kind of figuring out what the deal was with Vigoro, but Vigoro is basically a Home Depot brand, and they put lots of really cool plants in the Vigoro labeling. But the thing is, it doesn't say Fireburst Dahlia. You can't even, this is so new, you can't even find anything on it anyway, even if it did have the name to Google it. So I feel like maybe I wasn't looking at Vigoro plants as much. I thought maybe it was like a generic type store brand, but it's really kind of the opposite of that. It's like really high-end, awesome genetics in plants at a great price. So I don't know. I just know I love them, and I'm growing all kinds of Vigoro stuff this year. But check out that video on annuals and perennials. I did one with my friend Nancy and one with my friend Matt. And those are really great ones to see. All right, now we're gonna start off with this earth planter. It needs to have soilless soil mix which kind of blew my mind, to be honest, at first. And what it is over here. I get this Pro Mix BX because that is what they recommended, and I needed some for my hanging baskets on the front porch as well. So that's what I'm going to pop into this planter. And to be honest, I don't know how much more I can even fit into here. There is some in here already. And I think what I'm going to do is dig this up a little and pop some out, dig a little bit out, and then just freshen it up with the new stuff. I also need to go grab some slow release fertilizer. I don't do that normally for my roses, but I always use that in anything that I do with my annuals. A good slow release fertilizer, it activates when it heats up. And so that slow release fertilizer is going to really start feeding your plants when they want to take off and just grow. And quite honestly, that's what Earth Planter sent me with these. And they did so great last year. Oh, last year I had a canna in this, and the hummingbirds, oh, they would just not stay away. That was what I was going to plant in here. And I'm still going with this, but next year, somebody remind me. I think I want to do the hummingbirds in the canna in here again for the hummingbirds, because that was really fun. We have some windows here, and so we get to look from the house outside at the hummingbirds. I love them, but they kind of freak me out a little bit with their like pointy beaks. I don't know. It's weird. Birds in general. I have a lot of birds in my yard, and they like to come play jokes on me. They like to just kind of get too close. I think they think I'm friendlier than I actually am. Or maybe it's because I love earthworms, and maybe they can feel that energy. So they just come and hang out with me, and I shoot rubber bands at them. They think it's a great time. I don't know. Weirdos. All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm not getting all the way down into that bottom well, but I'm gonna go grab a bucket. The other thing about the Pro Mix is that it's supposed to be pre-moistened. And I'm just gonna pre-moisten it in here because quite honestly, I don't wanna go grab another bucket. And I always save and reuse this. I'll mix worm castings and other things because this is great. I'll mix a bunch of stuff up in it. Man, those canna roots. It's a good thing I'm digging this out. They were intense. The canna that I put in here was just one of those ones from Costco with a whole bunch of annuals packed in around it. And I really loved the height. Look at that root. Okay, it's good that I did this. I actually didn't know it was that bad in there. Oh my goodness. Here's another one. All right, so freshening up our soil. This has a well in the bottom that goes all the way down. So watch that Earth Planter video if you want to see what the inside of this looks like, because I'm not going to pull that thing out. In goes the Pro Mix. And I feel like this has mycorrhizae in it, which was a product that I wanted to show you because it's amazing for all of your plants. And if you haven't done a lot of research on that, you should. Well, you don't have to. I did because I found it very interesting, and I love weird stuff like that. So what this is a product that is a fungus that it's like a white powder. You pat it on your root ball, and it helps your roots absorb water better. So it helps a lot with transplant shock. That's why the nursery is always like, oh, you should get this when you get your plants. I really do love it. So if you are not great at growing plants, you should get this with the warranty if your garden center is offering it. If they don't have this, just buy some. I'll link it below because I use it all the time. I get winded when I talk to you guys on camera. Why is that? Okay, it's all in there, nice and dry. Now it's time to get it saturated and ready for our rose. Now this one came potted up. I actually grow a lot of bare root roses as well, and I save all of these Bloomables pots because for me it's the perfect size to grow my bare root roses. I have a video on that I recorded how I pot mine up. When I get bare root roses, I always pot them up and grow them and root them out before I put them in my landscape here in Utah. That just works infinitely better for me. It solved so many of the problems that I had growing bare roots that is the only way I do them now. You can check the drainage. You can check so many things. The watering is just a lot easier to get right. So if you're having trouble growing your bare roots, you might want to give that a look. All right, got it all in there. I don't think I put enough. We'll see. No, that's perfect. All right, now this has mic in it already, so I'm not going to use a whole lot because quite honestly, it's expensive and I don't want to waste it. I am going to use just a little. So there's my rose root ball. And I just take the powder. It's kind of like a gray granule. And I'll just pat it. I like to put some on the bottom. So that's where I want my roots to go the most. I just pat it around the root ball. Beautiful. Now this poor plant got some aphids while she was waiting for me to pot her up, which is fine. I'll show you what I'm gonna do to take care of that. She's looking good. I think I like that edge. I like to sink her just a couple inches below the top of the planter so that when I water it, this planter actually has a little filling hole right here, but sometimes I'll come through or have my kids come through and water on the top. And that way the water is not leaking all over the place. You know, for my other annuals, I need to get a little more soil ready. So I'm just gonna add some of the fresh soil into here. And then I'm gonna get it wet again. Don't be like me, go get a bucket. That's definitely the preferred way to do this. I'm trying to decide if I want to put these on the outside 2 corners. I guess I'll see it either way from inside my house. I think I'm going to put one here, one on the other side. Let's get that damp. So many bees. The water really helps settle the soil in here. And then that way you don't get all your plants planted and then have like a sinking planter. Have you ever done that? You get everything in there and then it sinks down like 3 inches. That's kind of frustrating. Perfect. So many bees. I thought that I might have to tease some of the roots off of my dahlias, but they actually are going to fit in perfectly into this. And I know this is a lot to be cramming in one pot. That's just how I live my life. We like it full. We like it effervescent. All right. Now, if you're growing in Utah and you're buying a potted rose that has a graft on it, you want to make sure in Utah that your graft is planted 2 inches below the soil level. Thank you, Utah Rose Society, for answering that question for me. I've had that as a question for a very long time, and you definitely want it planted down below the graft. We're cheating and using a little bit of the old soil because the bees scare me, and I'm not going back over there again. Now, this is a Super Bells Lemon Slice from Proven Winners, and it has a cute white stripe on it. Love the Super Bells series. So this will cascade out and just kind of tie in that yellow that I have going on in the rose and in my dahlia down the side. That's the plan. And I have this one random white stalk that's gonna go in there. And I feel like I have more space, so I might actually go shop the yard and see what else I can find. You really do want to get all of the air pockets out to the best that you can when you're potting these up. So you just need to be mindful. That'll just help keep it hydrated better, having root contact to the soil. It's going to help with the wicking action that these fun planters have too, and pull that moisture up where it needs to be. Yeah, I've got this whole side. I might need some white waves or something. All right, now the other thing I'm going to do is really sad, and you don't have to do this. I am going to do this. So because these had aphids, I am just going to snip my buds off the top so that my plant can focus its energy on kind of recovering from these shriveled up leaves and not focus on blooming as much as focus on getting some roots before it gets hot here. So I'm going to come down to the leaves that have 5 and trim those off. If you live in a humid environment, you're supposed to cut them at a 45-degree angle like this, 45-degree angle. Here in Utah, it doesn't matter quite as much. That's just supposed to help keep the moisture from rotting your stems. So yeah, we're gonna cut these off. It's killing me. It truly is killing me inside. I could have probably left that one. Too late now. Okay, she already looks better. She's gonna be way happier. This one leaf looks funky too, so I'm gonna cut that off. All right, I have a new product that I'm testing out. It is a rooting liquid. I will link it below, and I haven't tried it before. I'll also link the transplant shock stuff that I normally use. I'm out of that, so I gotta get some more of that too. I'm heading to Home Depot to pick up some gardening supplies because I finally have a weekend where I can come out and plant, and I'm very excited about it, so I wanna be well stocked and well prepared. So since I've gotten everything else done, I can take a jet spray of water and just spray off any more aphids that I have on here. They're very soft-bodied insect, and so as soon as they fall on the ground, they kind of die. If I saw any, I just smush them with my fingers. People wear gloves or don't. I just smash them. And there's a few on here right now. Aphids can be black, green, brown, have wings, not have wings. They're just so fun. Anyway, when it gets dry, they get worse here in the desert. So spray those off. I like to do that in the morning, especially if you live in a humid place, because you don't want your plants to be damp and wet at night. That can lead to fungal problems. So we like to keep them nice and dry at bedtime. But it's early in the morning, so I think we'll be able to do that. And I am just going to go mix up some of my transplant shock juice and water this in and go to Home Depot and grab something fun for that empty pocket and some of my other supplies. Be sure to follow along if you want to see how this planter progresses over the summer and see more fun plants and tips and garden projects all season long. I'll see you soon.